All right, good morning, everyone. James Hicks here from Hicks New Media. Welcome to another edition of ITN Live. First of all, I apologize for being late. Me and my guests were in the back room just chatting it up. So you know this is going to be a good show already when we forget it's time to go live and we reminiscing about all kind of greatness. The man I'm about to bring on screen here, I've known this man for decades. I know his family. That makes him family, right? So I think folks here in the Northern California area know this gentleman as well. He's a tireless advocate for youth in both academics and in sports. He's a positive voice in the local community, serving on various local, private, governmental agencies and boards and commissions. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to dive into, more importantly and selfishly for me right now, I recently got this man to buy himself a Tesla. So we going to definitely talk about the automobile. Ladies and gentlemen, Andre Randolph. Mr. Randolph, how
Hey,
you living, brother?
it's how you doing, sir? I'm doing well.
Oh, I'm good, man. Good to see you. Well, like I said, we finally get the show started. We talking 20 minutes behind the camera.
I know,
Uh,
and
uh,
that's my fault. I was excited to see you.
it's all good. It's all good. Talk to me, man. So, I tried to bring you on like Steve Harvey just now. You know, you just do the little intro, the Kings of Comedy. But
I
for the
heard it.
folk,
You hyped me.
for the folks who don't know you, give us the elevator pitch, ladies and gentlemen. Who is Andre Randolph?
Let's see. Andre Randolph is a young man that grew up in the beautiful Bay Area, East Oakland area, and moved up here. My senior year in high school, I moved up to Roseville. So here
Mm-hmm.
you are taking this city boy, bringing him to Roseville over 20 years ago. And you know who my best friends were? The Cowboys. Still to this day. The Cowboys of Roseville, and I'm talking old school Roseville. Nothing was around here. I mean, that's where I learned how to drive a tractor, shoot
Yeah.
a shotgun, go hunting. Those were my best friends still to this day. Got to meet a lot of folks in this community. Went to school out here from high school to junior college to Sac State, Stingers up, you
Yes,
know.
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we were there before it was called. They had the little slogan,
We
"Stingers
were
up."
there, yeah. But hey, I
Yeah.
embrace it. I'm like, hey, we have something. Let me get on it. you know.
Yes. Yes.
And, yeah. And then had I tell you the pivotal moment besides uh, at that time starting a family and all that kind of stuff was my time at Hewlett Packard. I
Yeah.
think our HP days. I mean, you talk about something that shaped kind of how you go forward in life, and I use that experience, and then still stay in tech. However, I'm on the government side as well. So from there,
Yeah.
moved into government. Took that government as one of those. Well, what can I do with it? How can it help? And
Yeah.
so, like you said, man, I still sit on some commissions here, for the city. Just retired out of the county commission seat, but still stay in contact with those folks. Just on a few state committees. I do work for the state of California, the judicial branch. I'm biased. I like to say the best branch, but yeah, on the judicial side of the house, and we have a lot of good things there. So I am a dude that's dedicated to just public service. If it's for
Yeah.
the kids, if it's for constituents, it's public service.
And I completely agree with that, right? And that's why I brought you on, right? Just a timeless advocate for, again, for youth and for the community. You've been here, you've done it, you've seen so many different things. Yeah, we grew up. I'll say we grew up in technology, right? We spent so much
Yes,
time fighting the good fight for HP back in the days, and we did some great things.
great things.
But you branched out. So tell me about that move from core technology, from being CIO at some of your other locations to now being more, instead of the private sector, being in the public sector. How has that change been?
So, you know what? I think my move and I would say the successes that I've had on the government side was
Hmm.
because of the things that we did on the technology side. Right? It's our mode of
Okay.
thinking, our mindset. It's how we view the projects that we take on
Yeah.
from what back in the day when we were supporting HPUX systems to developing, writing code. It is developing the plan. What does it look like? What does our test look like? Getting all the right people involved, making sure you're in a room that's, with folks smarter than you that have the same mission goal in mind. So, it was funny because on the court side of the house, that was one that kind of blew my mind because, and you have to think about it because court decisions are always based in tradition, right? You don't make a decision. That's why we have things on the books for so long and people are afraid to break it, be it Roe v. Wade, whatever it is. They're afraid to attack that because that could unravel a lot of things on the back end, right? Yeah. So because that is the nature of the business, so was business. It was very slow and moving. It was very, we'll wait. We'll see what other people do. We'll borrow from that, and then we'll move while that next person or company is light years ahead of you, right? Mm-hmm. It's no fault of your own. It's just what you know from that. So I went in when I started at the county court level. I went in there not knowing any better, not knowing that culture, coming straight out of what we did. And,
just wide-eyed, right?
Yeah. I'm like, well, what do you mean this project's been going on for 2 years? Well, let me see it. And then, what do you mean we're done now? Yeah, and they're like, well, you guys finished that, and in the last couple of months. Well, because it was that mindset that we took from private to public. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's exciting now is we are getting a lot of outside folks from the public sector that are coming into us now. Private folks that have those same experience that are helping to push along. Man, I'm telling you, as we start adopting that, it's going to start getting better for our folks here in California because people have that mindset. Let's hurry up. Let's build. Let's do. People need this, and stop that slowdown. So,
and I love the fact of how positive you sound, right? Because there's so many. If you look at the news cycle, if you look at what's going on in the world, not everything is bad. We're continually inundated with the negativity that's happening, but to have you have that positive mindset, especially in government, right? Especially being in so many different types of publicly facing fields and teams and tasks and things that you're involved with. It's refreshing to hear someone at your level, at your stature, and you're too young to say you retired from some things. I don't. First of all, I don't understand that right there.
I did retire. We retired from coaching football. That was 24 years in the game. I had to retire from that. So, but thank you for that. There are grays underneath this bad boy.
All right. Well, so let's pivot to that a little bit because how do you, find time to spend 2 decades doing what you do for the day job, raising some amazing kids.
Thank you.
So keeping up with that, I know I'm probably gonna see. I'm not gonna put him on blast, but I might put your future son-in-law. I'm gonna see him later on today.
Hey, I
just put him on blast and put a little pressure on him.
I'm proud to say I'm proud of that boy. So yes, that is he's already
good. He's a good man. But so how do you do all of that and still, like I say, spend 20 years as the head coach, right? Over, I believe, at Wood Creek, right, for their football squad. How do you balance that? Like we said in the old HP days, that work-life balance. How do you have that type of that?
James, we can do whatever we want. We can find time for whatever we want if it is a priority to us, right? That's always the big thing. It's easy for people to say, oh, I don't have time to do that. I can't go back to school. I don't have time for that. But if it's important to you, but you'll do it. If it is, let's see, if my friend has a party at 7:00 that's in 2 towns over and it's 5:00 and I'm getting off, I got to get home. You will find a way to get to that party if you really want to get there, right? So that's how I look at it. It was my routine was wake up at 4:00 in the morning, get in the gym at 4:30, get my workout on, finish that so I can get home, get the kids squared up so we can get them to school. Boom. Then I'm out the door to work. Knowing I need to get all my work done so I can leave in time to hit the football field, I just had it all set. I knew one thing was going to happen. Something was going to have to suffer in that thing, and I didn't want family to suffer. I didn't want work product to suffer. I know that all I need is 5 hours of sleep, So guess what? I am good. I can go to bed later at night. I know that's what I need. Look, that's not for me to tell people to get a little bit of sleep because we
Yeah.
know it is important for your health and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just know I don't need that much sleep. So I pop tall and I'm ready to go. So it is putting things in perspective. And I learned this late, but learn to say no. Don't you can
Okay.
extend
I
yourself,
got you.
but don't overextend yourself. Learn to say no, this is not the right time, but keep me in mind for the next one, right? So that took me a little bit to learn, but that really helped put things in perspective.
That's interesting. So now that mindset though of being so disciplined, right? I'm again 20, 30 years old, in the teens, whatever.
Hmm.
One thing, you're up all night because you're out at the club. You're doing whatever. Not
Whatever.
you specifically. I'm just saying. I may be pointing at you and really pointing at me,
Well,
but
I'm old now. The kids are all grown and gone, so you might find me in the club. No, I'm just kidding.
but where did you get that I guess that mindset from? How did you at such an early age really have that ability to say I'm going to prioritize my day for one, taking care of myself mentally, spiritually, physically, and all of
Mhm.
that, and then knowing that I've got these items I need to check off every single day? How, where did that kind of come from? Was that school? Was that what?
So a couple of things, right? And you know two of them, Mr. and
Well,
Mrs.
this was a leading question anyway. So yeah,
Yep.
this I,
You know two of them, Mr. and Mrs. Randolph, my wonderful mom and dad. I mean, you want to talk about watching hardworking people go.
yeah,
So when you watch it and that's all you ever see, it's like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do.
yeah,
Like where most families talk about whatever families talk about, Randolphs talk about business and this. If
yeah,
we hear like, oh my gosh, I got to work 40 hours and this, we applaud you. Like, oh, you put it in.
yeah,
Good
yeah,
work. There you go. It is important within our family to be hard workers. Like that's value. You know, don't slack off on other type of things. Like the important stuff, the family time, and all that kind
yeah.
of stuff. But get after it. And we love you for getting after it. So that's one. And the other is I am an Aries. I look at life as a sport. Hey, I there's times I lose, but those aren't losses, those are learns. My son and I, we used to say that when he was a wrestler and always a
Yeah.
wrestler, right? And if anything went wrong on the mat and he'd have one of those experiences, he'd walk up with those sweaty eyes. And I was like, all right, son, go outside with your sweaty eyes and think about this learn. Or you ask me and says, yeah, Dad, I learned today. And like he would say, like how we joke about it, he would say for real, so I learned today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I look at life as a sport. How can I win it, be successful? How can my team, meaning not just my immediate, but people that I'm doing this for, how do we win? And if we don't, how do we get better? So we go back and then we win,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's that.
That's
It's full in the rain, Randolph, and it is life is a sport.
those are some good. Those are some good people. Let me tell you something.
Those
I used to. I used to turn around the corner sometime and at the office, go look over and look at his cube and just stand there sometime. Like, how you doing, sir? How you doing, Mr. Randolph? And that, so yeah, that's a good man.
Oh,
And mom's is on top too. So
yes,
you got some great pedigree. You definitely shared that with your family, and you can see that in their actions and their engagements. I one thing, and I'm gonna throw her out here, and hopefully I don't embarrass her, but this is a
do it,
compliment.
do it.
Every time I see your daughter at the gym, we talk. She gives one of the best, firmest handshakes,
Oh
and
my
looks
God, that's her biggest pride. I'm so happy you said
and
that.
looks right in people's eyes. That
Yes.
is a very confident young woman, and I've been wanting to say that to her. We've been locked down, so no one's seeing each other. But and I know she gets that from you, and I know she gets that from the family, just from her upbringing. So I did want to give shouts out on that as well.
James,
Just
thank you for that. That Kayla prides herself
yeah,
on that handshake and that eye contact.
yeah,
She wants you to know that, hey, I'm listening and I respect you, but at the same time, I'm a strong individual. You know what I
yes,
mean? And
yeah,
then not so
yeah,
much physically, but no, I'm grounded.
yeah,
Let's have a conversation. Yeah, no, she's a great young woman. That's for
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Man, look at you, just beaming over there.
Oh, I do. You start
I'm
talking
mad
about
at
the
you.
kids. I do. I light up. Yeah. I yes. I did
So
my job. They
let's pivot a little bit. How are they doing? I mean, again, 'cause I haven't seen them a little bit since again.
yeah,
So we had a chance to work out at the gym, and we've been all locked down. So kids doing well,
they're doing
got their
well.
path going.
Yeah, Alex is he's living down south, working for one of those top social media type companies.
Okay,
Graduate from the Long Beach State. Miss
nice.
Kayla's doing her modeling and a buyer
Yes,
for a boutique around here. She's a junior right now, going to a very, very prestigious college,
love it.
ours. And then
Uh,
my young man is starting his freshman year in college and waiting for wrestling to come back because he's going to be wrestling in school. So, yeah, no, the kids they are doing what they're supposed to do. They're
Beautiful,
being young
beautiful.
adults. Hey, and you talk about I didn't realize they've watched and they've learned and they
Yeah.
are passionate about what's going on right now. You know, they're still young yet. They still
Hmm.
need to grow, but they are passionate about what's going on in our society. How do we make it better? And they will have those conversations. They will participate. It does a heart well, especially a guy in government. Yeah.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about that because I was going to ask how you were faring first, I guess, during lockdown.
Yeah.
That's one aspect of it. So I still want to have that conversation, but how are you faring with what's going on just from a societal perspective, right? What kind of messages are you giving to yourself? What kind of messages are you giving to your sphere of influence, your kids, your coworkers, and your relationships, things of that nature? Because again, the news cycle seems to be aiming more towards what sells, and what sells is the negativity and things of that nature.
Right.
How are you adjusting to it or dealing with it, or what type of measures are you doing to remain positive and to continue to have a voice out there in society today?
Yeah. So, first of all, that's staying positive. I just take it back um, to my grandmother. Oh, look at my buddy Cameron. I take it back to what my grandmother would say, and I live by it. Right? Hey, 2 feet hit the ground. It's a good day. Right? So
Yeah,
you keep
yeah.
that in mind once you start the day. Um, I I'm fortunate because I've had a unique background. So I went through the police academy.
Hmm.
I've worked within that sphere,
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there's certain perspectives that I see and I understand, and then there's some where I'm like, but I've also been the kid as recent as living up here, working for the company we work with together, taking some
Hmm.
clients out, and in front of them stopped because I fit a profile.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? So
yeah.
I've been on both sides of those fences, and you know what? We're grown-ups. We know what's right and what is wrong. Um, I I like to hear and see everything before
Mm.
any type of judgment is passed. I like the discussions. I will speak about it. When we had Chief Hahn here, that's now
Hmm.
Sacramento PD. Chief Hahn is one of my close friends. Good man. Chief Hahn was great because he saw that one of the things that we need to do is talk about the differences in people.
Hmm.
So when
Hmm.
he started the diversity committee that he had in here, I got to sit in on that, and we got to meet with people throughout the community and talk to and come up with game plans on how we can work on diverse issues. And it was one of those where it's a conversation. It's not I'm going to throw something, accuse you, whatever. I am going to introduce this to you. Come to
Hmm.
the table, let's talk. So it's those type of things. There's a lot of tragic out there, but you have to also look at some of the successes that we've had out there, and how do we capitalize on that, and how do we lift that up as the strength, as the model, as
Okay.
you know this is who you are. It doesn't
Right.
matter what nationality, race, religion that we're talking about, but within yours, highlight that good, show that good, demonstrate that, introduce it to people, open up dialogue. So that's
Yeah.
what it's been.
I
It's
love
been
it. I
doing a
love it.
lot of that with friends. It's funny because you start learning, you start learning people's opinions and thoughts, and instead of
Yeah.
judging or shutting them down,
You know,
communication's all.
And you have to, I was at dinner with, we were at dinner with some folks the other day, and we started going into some of the dialogue, and I restated to them, this is good because we need to have what I keep calling the awkward conversation,
Yes.
right? It's not
Get
going to,
comfortable being uncomfortable. Mm-hmm.
yeah, nothing's going to improve if you don't have those awkward, uncomfortable conversations. So
Right.
you've got to air out those opinions and don't be afraid of the debate, right? There's nothing
Exactly.
wrong with debate. Be respectful of each other because that's the only way that you're really going to make any positive momentum and positive change. So I'm glad to hear you saying that. Do you still keep in touch with some of your, I'm gonna call it your extended family, right? The
Yeah.
teams that you coached, because you've definitely touched a lot of youth in terms of how they have shaped their future. Are you still involved in any of the sports leagues or anything like that?
So once I jumped back in, and I have an office in Sacramento, office in San Francisco, and I'm like down in San Francisco 2-3 times a week, that kind of thing. It was hard. If you
Yeah.
can't put 100% in and truly give your time,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it because it's not fair to everybody that might count on you, right? But I do stay in contact. Matter of fact, before this, talked to some of the coaches that I coached with before. We still hit each other up. I see some of the boys that I coach that are still, some of them are going into their senior, junior years at the high school here. I see them every morning at the gym, and
Yeah.
and it's beautiful when you still hear, "Hey, coach," that kind of thing. I still wear my coaching gear around at the gym. I'm proud of those boys and what we've done.
Yeah.
And the fun one is, when I see like grown men that I don't recognize, and they turn
Yeah.
around, they go, "Hey, coach." I'm like, "Who's he talking to?" That's a grown man. And I'm
That's a
like,
grown man right there.
I'm like, "Oh no, wait, I coached you when?" Yeah, and they're 30 years old now, have kids of their own, and some of them, their kids have gone through my youth program when I was doing it. So it's really cool seeing that,
Good.
and watching them coach.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the fun part. Yeah.
Hopefully we will soon be over and out of all of this. No handshakes, no hugs. Got to wear masks, and we'll get whatever we need because there's healing, I think, in society having that interaction and engagement, right? Sports is more
Yeah.
than just sports, and I've always said this. I look at sports differently. I don't look at it just for the game or just for that. I look at it from a manager's perspective, from a coach's perspective, and love the strategy, right?
Yes.
And the
Yes.
fact that you every sport is a thinking person's activity. You've got to be passionate about it. You got to be dialed in. You got to be driven. You can't just show up. You actually got to put work into your craft, and I
That's
think
right.
that bodes well for everything. But the team aspect of you're doing your activities not for you, but for all the other folks that are part of the squad. So they're relying on you while you're relying on them. That bodes well in business, personal,
Yes.
professional as well. So that's one thing that we miss about sporting, right? It's
Absolutely.
good that it's slowly starting to come back now, but
I tell you, like if this was normal times right now, and I would still be coaching football, I would still be in the meeting that we started at 7:30, and we wouldn't be done for another about 3, maybe 4 hours.
just
That's what
drawing
we're
up
doing every
plays. I
Sunday.
talk.
Every Sunday. But you're right. It is that whole the strategy, the that phrase, "Do your job." You know
Yeah,
what? If I do my job, then that's going to help James
yeah,
get his job done. And
yeah,
if we're all doing that together, look at what we produce. You know what I mean? So you're right. It isn't just on the field. It's in life. It's in business. What I always said this. It's in like all my old slides. What if I would do a clinic, or if I would do parent night on joining the team, that kind of thing.
yeah.
I would have in there that football is a tool. That's it. The sport is beautiful. Football
Mm,
is a tool to help produce good citizens, good people, good, boyfriends, husbands, fathers, employees, business owners, because some people are meant to be employees. Some people are
yeah.
meant to start their own. This is going to be the catalyst to help you, through those type of things. And that's how I always have viewed athletics. And I think that's what I love about it so much. It's not just about the sport.
Right, right. What was the best record that you had? I know you got Coach of the Year, but just let's go ahead and brag. I just want to hear
So
what. Go ahead, go ahead.
when
Let
I
me hold on. Let
freshman
me
head,
put you on full screen as you talk
you
about
know,
this.
and I mean, you never you have wins, but you don't focus on them. But if I had to, it would be as freshman head coach. We had about the best freshman team that high school had ever seen. I think we ended up, like 8-2 or something like that. It was best record. That was hey, we beat Folsom. I mean, it
Oh,
was yeah, it was
he's throwing them out there now. Shots fired. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
a lot of those kids went off to, play the next level, as they went through. And, it was one, but it was so fun because I got to watch them go through the youth program. Then they
Yeah.
were mine as freshmen. Then they would go, and then I would split time between freshman and varsity coaching. So then I would get to be with them on the varsity staff as well. So you talk about grueling days,
No.
coaching for your freshman game that you had coaching, right? And then your Thursday night game. And
Yeah.
then traveling or doing whatever, then turning it around because Friday night you're about to do the same thing. And right now I'm an assistant coach there, so I do whatever from camera setup, coach my
Right.
DB, all that kind of stuff, to do my prep for on Saturday to, like I told you, our Sunday time, right? And I'm doing it for both freshmen and as an assistant on the varsity staff. So, but it's fun watching when you see that team excel, go on. Oh, it's a good time.
I love it. I love it. So I'm gonna take it a slightly different way. I don't think you could effectively do all of those activities. I know we talked about the discipline and just
Yeah,
the mindset, but I don't think you could do all of those things and all those activities at the same time if you didn't take proper care of yourself. And
that's a fact.
I know you know your way to the gym. I know you know how to curl and lift some weights and left and do some deadlifts. So talk to me. You still taking care of yourself?
Yes, sir. Very,
Okay.
very,
You
very
filling out them
excited.
t-shirts down. Yeah, you filling out that
Well,
t-shirt there.
I knew I was going to be on here. I figured you're going to wear the army green. I'm going to wear the army green. So, but yeah, no. Health to me is very important. There was a time where when I retired from playing for rugby, I played rugby at college and I played
Hmm.
pro rugby, and then I was a grown man, and but it was the kids' turn, so I had to pull back from doing that. Well, I let my rugby body go, and I was an overweight guy. It was
Hmm.
like from a kid all the way through that, always working out and doing that kind of stuff. I was like, I'm done, throwing in the towel. Well, I did that, and I ballooned up a lot, and then I tore my Achilles tendon, and that put me down. And so it's one thing to stop because you chose to stop, but now you're limited because you have this injury, and you're like,
Hmm.
what am I doing with myself? And
Hmm.
then at that point, it was like never again. So at that point, I was committed. I'm just going to stay healthy. Do even this COVID thing, this lockdown wasn't going
Yeah.
to stop me from getting the exercise on. I was telling you behind the screens, and I'll put it out. I'll put it on camera, James. I got back down to 13%. I'm not quite where I was last year, but I'm still working, right? But you always have to have a goal. That's why the only reason I say that is because I have a goal.
Yeah.
Like I would be perfectly happy with that if that was I felt the best that I could do, but I knew that I know that I've done better. So
Yeah.
now I have a goal. I know where I want to be. So that just makes you work harder. And what do they say? A sound body, sound mind. So you
Oh
got to
yeah.
put them together to get them to work in harmony.
That's true. Yeah. At 13, so I'm at 14.5.
That's my man right there.
And I'm working, work with Juden a lot. So he's trying to get me. I don't want to get to 10. 10 is going to be too
10,
many.
I'm not getting a 10. I'm
No,
12, I'm good. 10,
that's
no.
where I want. I need to shave 2 points off. So
Yep.
talk to us a little bit about your nutrition, man, because that's where it's all at. Yeah, you can go out there and lift as heavy a weights as you can, and throw your back out, throw your foot out or whatever. But it's all in the nutrition. So
It's all in the nutrition. But
yeah.
see, okay, I'm not going to lie. I have a little bit of cheat that folks don't have. All right, come on in, people. I'll let you in. Here's how I'm cheating to get this done. And it goes back to what I said: competition. I'm competing, but not in a weird way. I'm competing because the lovely person in my life does the competitions, does
Okay.
the shows, and preps for that, right?
Okay.
And so I'm cheating because it's like, oh wait, what these macro things you keep talking about? Yeah, I need those. Do the macros for me. So so she helps me. I'm cheating
Do
because
do the meal prep for me too and all
help me. Oh,
that.
what do you mean? We're eating salad again? I love salad. I have a Jude in my life. My daughter's amazing boyfriend. He's like, all right, here's what you need to do. This is where you need to
Yeah,
be. So I have folks that will help shape me, but I also have that, hey, okay, the drive. The drive.
yeah.
People know that, you like being healthy. So if you turn around and not be healthy one day, you're going to be a big old hypocrite and people are going to laugh at you. So keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward. I'm gonna hit you up pretty soon because I may want to flatten the curve a little bit out for myself as well to get to where I need to be faster. I'm trying to get to 12.
12 is a good number, man.
We may talk about food prep and some companies that you guys are using. I like to support local. So I know there's a couple of local companies around here, like Roseville Food Prep, Trifecta's local. I won't mention everyone, but until they start paying for some advertising, maybe on the show.
I heard that. Maybe,
but
and that's it. But there, you know what? I just recently, and I don't mean like we have to go into it. I thought I could be quick and bring it up, but I just recently tried those, the service meal prep. It's a wonderful person. That's out local here in our community that that does this meal prep project, and a good friend of mine, Mr. Tim Peters, he gets them. And
I know Tim.
Yeah, Timmy. I was like, Timmy, I want to try those. He goes, hey man, look, here's the menu. You tell me what it was. You Venmo me the money, and I'll add it to my order. He did that, and I'm like, man, these are tasty. They're already done. And if you ever look at a calendar for a day it's like, I don't have to prepare it. I just got to go grab it, and it's delicious food.
Yeah.
That has been a lifesaver. I only do like 5 of them, because I only need them for that lunchtime. I have my own breakfast thing, my protein this, my eggs this. I have my little snacks, my dinner time. Yeah, hey, the lovely, she takes care of that, because of it's based off of how she has to eat.
Right.
For hers. So I just piggyback off of that. So the meal prep is good, and you don't have to think about the expense of give me 3 a day or this. Just take care of the one, that one meal that you really need help with. And for me, it's lunch, because I'm on conference calls during lunch. So if I could and go and not have to try to cook something while I'm on these little things all day long, yes, it's a huge help.
That's true. That is the hardest. One of the hardest parts about being on lockdown is because now the commute is gone, right? So now folks think that they can get on your calendar from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. and that's literally that's what tomorrow is going to look like for me.
It's so true, man. It's like that all day, every day. It is so true. Yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna talk to you about that. So we'll talk offline, but and maybe I'll put in the show notes a link to that particular food prep company that you're using, and I'll review them and see about that.
All right.
Let me talk to you about something else, brother. I'm looking for some swag. I don't have anything in my office right now. Talk to me about this recent purchase. Let's talk about you joining the electric vehicle family. What you got out there?
I did say that.
It's all to save the earth. Forget everything else. Always looking out for the planet. You got bigger picture.
I'm telling you that a lot of that is true, and a lot of that is I love calling her this, and I'd say with the term of endearment, my hippie daughter would beat me senseless if I was not thinking about the earth. I get in trouble because I don't use a metal straw. So yeah, that's very important in our family. So I take it serious because someone will check me.
Yeah.
But yes, Mr. Hicks, I did thank you to you, sir. I went down the Tesla route. Now, for those who know me, now look at what I'm in right now. I'm literally one step above a dorm room. That's by choice, but I am a very simple man. I don't need much, but I got yelled at from the lovely lady in my life because she hated my over 10-year-old beat up. The air conditioner didn't work. Tried to blow it because I don't need that, right? But now I was like, well, okay. I've never we had our company cars. Those were about
Yes.
as fancy as I got, was like my company car. You know, I was like, I don't need it. I just gotta go from point A to point B. So I was like, maybe I want to try some a little luxury. You know, I'm a grown man now. I'm a
Take
kid.
care of yourself. You earned it.
I wanted something that I earned. You know,
Yes.
my fanciest purchase was an Apple Watch, man. So it's like, yeah, I want to try something.
You
So
dropped $300 on yourself one time in
I
5 years
did.
ago.
No. Actually, I just lied to you. I take that back. My fanciest purchase were these things. The
The
Apple Watch,
pros? Okay.
the Apple Watch that I still have to this day is first generation, and I got it
Oh
from
my
when I
God.
joined board of directors of a company. They gave me this little watch thing, and I was like, Apple Watch, perfect. So that's how I got that. So I don't drop money on myself. So
I'm buying you. I'm upgrading you for Christmas.
oh,
That's all it is.
Um,
Okay.
so,
Go
yeah,
ahead. Go
man.
ahead.
So I went down there on some great advice from Big Brother James, and I test drove it, and I was like, "Wait, what is this thing? This doesn't
So,
even drive like a regular car. Like it doesn't even feel like it. Like people don't understand that they haven't driven it, but it doesn't even feel like. I felt like I was in one of those Disneyland cars with the one pedal driving, you know, where you can just lift your foot and things stop. I'm like, what is this? You know, fell in love with it, man. I did the test drive. I didn't even do a full test drive. I like took it around a quick little circle, came back and said, "All right, what do I do to do this thing?" He grabbed my
Yeah.
phone and said, "Now pay for it," and that was it, man.
And which is crazy, right? So you probably took it. You drove out. You drove to the right and did that half
Right.
circle,
Jumped
right?
on. Hey, I jumped on. You know, went to the right, jumped on the
Okay.
freeway, to take the exit off, and then went
Yes.
right back into the parking lot. So
Okay.
yes, that is what I did, and I was like, I am sold, and I'm sold so much that like before this, yeah, I was like, oh, I gotta go home. Must stop at the car wash. Oh yeah,
You got
this
to clean it up.
little baby has a routine. Gets walked on every yeah. This people. Let me mind you, I drove an old beat up car. I
Yes,
think I
he
washed
did.
it like maybe one or two times for a date before,
When
you know. So,
when it
now
rained, that's when it got washed.
I was like, hey, quick quack, you got one of them specials I can do every all unlimited? Yeah, sign me up.
I'll
Yeah,
go in Monday morning, Monday afternoon, whenever to wash it. So, welcome to the family. Let me say that you got the why, right? You got the
I
why.
got the why. You know, it fits my lifestyle. The why was brilliant for me
Yeah,
because you know I'm on my paddle
yeah,
board. I just bought
yeah.
one of those blow up paddles because now I can fit in. So instead of my hard bottom, that one is still in the garage. So if anybody wants it, you just hit me up. But I got my blow up paddle. I got the bike rack coming. Got the snowboard rack to attach to that coming because that's what
Love
I
it.
do. I'm gone.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
I'm out doing stuff. So yeah.
You 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 are joining at the right time too. So all of that activity, but you are joining the EV revolution. I think at the right time. One, you have been spoiled. I'm just going to tell you this right now. Within this last month, to get I think 3 software updates to your car in like a month. I don't understand that, and
I
that's
know
not
you
normal.
remember the first whatever you did when you called me on get me on that first one that I had from
Yeah,
you. I thank you because
I did send out a couple of tweets, and I don't know if they got read, but I did send out.
James, I'm gonna do
I've
this
been
real quick. Watch this. No, he's talking about this update thing. I'm not having it. I'm like, James, I don't even have this update. What's going on? Like literally. And then I go into my car to see, and then I see this little logo. I said I'm putting my trip off to do my update. If that man did some magic to pull strings, get the update right after a text message, it's gonna happen.
I'll see if I can find the tweet that I sent. Again, I don't have that kind of talent. I just think I do. I just play that kind of guy on the internet. I'm not really that. But so how is it? I mean, yeah, the initial
It's fantastic.
experience obviously was great. Now you've had it for a few weeks. You've taken it on probably some road trips.
You take it on a road
Any
trip.
okay? Any issues? Any gotchas? I mean, really for the folks who don't know, right? I mean,
You know,
just some kind of thing, because there's some quirks about driving an all-electric vehicle, and that you have to be conscious. You got to think about, okay, where am I going? Do I need to charge? How is that
yeah.
whole process of charging? That's it. I
So
mean,
yeah, yeah. Well, so the biggest thing that and it'll take about the first week or so, right?
Yeah.
Get all the fun, the how fast, how powerful, how it does this. Get that all out of your system first, right? Because I'm going to tell you, I think it's actually made me a safer driver.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, I like
and this
that.
is a lot. One, because you spend so much money on a car, you don't want to damage it. So that's one. But two, you are mindful of your energy consumption. And you're in a car that you do not have to show off. Like, you look at a Tesla, you know that thing.
Good point. Good point.
Right? Yeah. I don't need to show off. I don't need to be fast off the line. I don't need to be anything, right?
Yeah.
And look, I know we shouldn't be that way anyway, but there's still a little bit of that little childhood boy in you that's like, oh, I got all this power, But you don't have to. So it's like, I'm very mindful of the energy consumption. We did a nice little road trip, and that was a test. And I'm having fun with it because we're like, let's test. Let's see what this is like, right? What is it going to be like on charge? I want to see what's annoying about it. When do we not take this car and we take a different car, right? And so that's been a good time, man. But I noticed, like, I'm fine driving the speed limit. We're 5 miles over. But I'm fine with that. I am fine using power when I need it. It's not a show off. I'm enjoying being in the vehicle, the comfort, that kind of thing. So yes, I'm aware of my surroundings. And again, when you don't want to damage something you work so hard for, then you're a little bit more mindful. So the energy piece was huge, but it's also kind of fun. It adds a new dynamic to your trip. Oh, okay, we're going to need to charge here. Look around, maybe we can have a little lunch or do something. Let's make it fun. Instead of just going from point A to point B, now you get to enjoy the journey a little bit differently because you may have to put in some stops. So instead of being annoying, make it fun. So those are the big things out of it. But I'm like I said, I'm loving every minute of it. It's one of those, for me, not having a car payment in 100 years and finally having one. You really can wrap your mind around it when you go, well, heck, I would put $60 to $80 a week, sometimes twice, in my old vehicle. Like, literally, I drove a V8 Nissan Armada 2009 or whatever it was, right? So that was taking gas. So, like, just in gas alone, I have more than cut in half, the payment. What do you mean I don't do oil changes? Like those type of
Is there no maintenance? What does that mean? No maintenance.
Yeah. So there's those kind of things where it's like, this is totally worth it.
I love it.
So it's been good.
That's good, man. And I wanted to hear you say that again for folks, because folks think I'm jaded, right? Yeah. So one, I worked for Apple for 8 years, so they know I'm drinking the Apple Kool-Aid. So I've been all that, but an investor in Tesla, so they think, okay, you're drinking the Elon Musk Kool-Aid or whatever the case may be. But to hear someone especially say that range anxiety is real, right? You have to be mindful of it. Have to be conscious of that. But the fact that I can take this car and really have no maintenance issues, nothing, it's the safest thing on the road.
They have to come up with a new rating for it. Yeah,
they do, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get some more folks in. You now have your own referral code. I'm sure you can refer folks. I appreciate you. Thank you for those 1,000 free supercharger miles. I used those not too long ago.
Thank you for mine as well, because it is a reciprocal type thing. You get them, I get them. And I think I've used about 300 of them so far. So it was good.
Cool. That's too cool. That's too cool.
Yeah,
Brother Dre, tell me, man, what's next with you, man? How are you going to stay busy here in the short term? What's on the agenda for Andre Randolph, and if you got some social profiles that you want to shoot out there for folks to keep up with you in your journey, tell us what those are.
Oh man, you know what? You probably are better than me. I don't even know what my social whatever is. You can find me on Facebook. I'm one year. I just post things about the beautiful stuff that my kids are doing or what's going on in local government, meaning like, hey, we have this day, or hey, this is coming up that you may be interested in. I come from government different because I'm on the inside, so it's not like I'm going to tell you how to think or whatever. So you're never going to see that from me. You're going to just get information about, I'm on the Roseville Parks and Recs Commission, right? So if we're going to do a park dedication, you're going to see that kind of stuff from me. But outside of that, man, no, I'm pretty boring. Your fans be like, that was weak. But I don't to look at his social media. I'm weak there. But the next thing for me, James, you know me, man. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. I love what I do, so I'm gonna work extra hard. I'm gonna love my kids extra hard. I'm gonna continue to do, stuff throughout this community. I'm gonna be at the gym, So that's it. I'm a simple man.
I love it. Nothing wrong with that. You're a simple man, but you're a good man.
Thank you, man.
Andre, I appreciate you. We all appreciate you. You are an amazing impact to the community, and I'm not going to say you if you don't know that, but I think you know that, and you respect that, and you take on that honor and very humbly.
It means a lot.
You've raised some amazing kids. You've done some
Thank
good
you.
things. It's just good to know you, man. It's very good to see you. So I'm selfish in the fact that I forced you to come onto this show because I just wanted to see you. I want to see that beard. I don't understand why you don't have any silver in your beard.
It's in there. I'm not even kidding. A true story, real quick. Like, I have these two that grow in here, and I have to. If I'm not paying, I do have to pull them. And the reason being is because, when you're doing this, especially now, wash your hands every 5 seconds doing this. Wash your hands, do it properly, people. Like this, here, between, get this part of the hands, right? So when I'm doing that, and then I look in the mirror, because you check yourself out, make sure you're okay. I go like this. I'm like, oh, I got some lint. And it's these 2 or 3 little hairs that's just
permanent lint right there.
Would do, like, look on your shirt and then hit your nose. That's what those do all the time. So I had to get rid of those things. So those get pulled. Everything else, I earned those. So I'm proud of them.
I love it.
Yep.
Brother, be good to yourself. Take care. Tell everyone we said hello. I will talk to you soon. Hopefully, everyone, you enjoyed this conversation with me and a very good man. Later, brother.
Thanks, brother. Take care now.